There he is, Andrew, giving birth to an amalgamation of feces in the forest. There's Ren, mauling a horse, just beating the ever-living shit out of him. There's a young boy, releasing a stinky one as a 35-year-old man slurps it up. A dog, being strangled, and that is the entire joke. A young boy at a hospital giving birth to a fart baby. Oh wow. These are some of the episodes that have completely and utterly destroyed my cognitive function. But a lot of people have asked, what is the worst show that I've ever seen? In this video, I try to answer that. If I was summoning Salt, you would be in for a nice treat of 2 hours of the entire history of speedrunning Bloodborne. But that is not the case. Today we're going to be suffering a little bit trying to figure out which show I dislike the most, because a lot of people have been asking that question. So, like, subscribe if you're into content just like this. Let's take a look at those episodes and those shows that have completely and utterly destroyed me. Now, the first show on here might actually surprise you, but it's going to be The Simpsons. The Simpsons as a whole really isn't that bad, but there's one specific episode that they like to do that has definitely impeded my cognitive abilities a little bit, and it always kind of lives rent-free in my head. Anytime I'm watching The Simpsons, I just have to think that they made this episode because it truly is that bad. And that is the episodes where they glaze celebrities in a very unnecessary fashion. The specific episode that I'm going to use as an example is the episode about Elon Musk, when the Musk fell to Earth or whatever. It's genuinely like he walked into the writer's room and there was a guy just like, "Oh, Elon, come here, big boy." And they just started slobbering on his cucumber, just giving him everything that he needed, jorking his hog, cranking that thing. And Elon was like, "Oh, wow, I didn't expect this, man. I didn't get invited to the island. I didn't know the Simpsons family was going to be so warm and welcome to me. Oh," as he just bursts everywhere. That's quite a sentence that I just came up with, huh? But still, that's genuinely what it feels like. The entire episode has Elon Musk showing up, and they do this thing where they rib off Homer, and he just keeps on coming up with incredible ideas over and over again, and that's the entire 22-minute episode. It's just glazing Elon, just loving Elon, and I don't know why. I don't know why, if you're gonna get a celebrity, you wouldn't have it be a little bit more entertaining, where you take his character and you make him a parody of himself, like he's working at an ice cream parlor or something. I don't know, do anything unique. Who genuinely, like, is sitting there and they get a commercial for the Elon Musk episode of The Simpsons, and they're like, "Ooh-wee! I'm so excited for Elon Musk. Oh god, I need to set my watch. I need to write it in my notes. I'm so excited that Elon is going to show up and just be himself." That's so boring and useless and worthless. I don't need to watch Elon getting sucked off for 22 minutes. That's just how I feel about it, and they do that with Lady Gaga as well, and probably other celebrities, and it is by far the worst episodes of The Simpsons. It is so awful to watch. The next show is going to be Total Dramarama, and the reason that this isn't getting further into the video as being so unbelievably horrible is because it only really has one episode that I would label as being completely and utterly atrocious, unwatchable, and some of the most stinky fetish nonsense that I've ever seen, but the rest of it is just mediocre. Nothing is as bad as this one episode, which is why, as a show, it's not my least favorite show of all time, but it does contain the worst episode that I have ever seen in my entire life, and that is the episode Total Eclipse of Fart. Now, I've talked about this episode many times on the channel before, and that is because I truly have not seen anything as abhorrent, fetish-ridden, and disgusting that all of the animators, all of the writers, whoever was working on this genuinely should have stood up and say that something is wrong with this. I don't care about your paycheck. I'm sorry. I hope that you get enough money to support your family. I hope it all works out for you, but genuinely, how could you work on this episode and just be willing to draw what's happening if you're a normal, sane person? At some point, you have to hug the tree when they're bringing over the chainsaw to chop it down and say, "I will not let you." This episode revolves around the character Lashana losing a tooth, so she puts it under her pillow and tries to capture the tooth fairy. She doesn't get the tooth fairy, she gets a fart fairy, which is a grown man, at least 35 to 40 years old, who really likes inhaling farts. Genuinely. There is a instance where one of the characters farts in the show, and he is behind them, just going, oh, just guzzling that up. And this is okay for children? This is okay for anybody? It's so weird how he's standing behind toddlers, preschoolers, and he likes to sniff it up. You cannot tell me that that isn't some horrible ridden fetish. How does anybody even pitch this episode? Well, alright guys, wouldn't it be funny if, we had this fart fairy and, he was behind this young girl, and as she farts, he, runs up behind her and just, like, isn't that funny, guys? Like, if I was in the room, I would be staring at him, and then I would jump over the table and start mercilessly beating him to death, because clearly he doesn't deserve to be on the planet. Genuinely, I would love to know who wrote this episode. I would love to know who pitches this episode, because it is completely and utterly abhorrent in every way. Genuinely, it is so bad. And as the episode continues, we get this montage of him sucking it up when one of the girls is jump roping. Every time she just loops that rope, he's behind her going, oh. Like, and this could have been such an easy fix. All they had to do was make the guy who was inhaling it not like his job. That would have been so much more funny if he hated his life because he had to do it. It was the only way to maintain balance of the earth. It was the only way to appraise the gods. But no, he has to like it and enjoy just inhaling that stank, which makes it so much more gross. Eventually, he's using his fart powers too much, so he collapses to the floor, and it's up to Lashana to just release a stinky one to save him, and she can't do it. So one of the preschoolers sprints up to try to help him, and she starts just like contorting her body, and she just shits her pants.
Beth, did you just...
Yeah, and you get to watch it happen. Cool. And then Lashana eventually does release a stinky one. He inhales all of it, and that's how he gets to be normal again. It is genuinely one of the most fetish-ridden episodes I have ever seen in my entire life. I don't know how anybody could watch this. I don't know how anybody could be okay with this. If... It's the worst thing I've ever seen on TV. It's the worst thing. And the fact that it comes from Total Drama writers... Like, Total Drama Island used to be so cool 10 years ago. When I was a kid, they were just trying to win competitions, but instead, they decided, let's make a preschooler show where a 35-year-old man does some pedophilic fart inhaling. Woo! We definitely went the right direction with our lives. Woo! What are we doing? What are we doing in this world? Why are we even here? This is why humanity doesn't deserve to continue on. That somebody had to not only write this, animate this, and somebody had to watch it and be like, this is perfectly fine for television. Shows you that Hollywood has some freaks, to say the least. And it bothers me, down to my bones. Next, we're going to be taking a look at Sanjay and Craig, and you're probably wondering, how the hell could Sanjay and Craig make it past Total Dramarama? And it's because I've watched more of Total Dramarama, and it's more consistent. It's not usually a grown man inhaling toddlers' farts. The majority of the show is fine. Not amazing, but just fine. I genuinely hate almost all of Sanjay and Craig, and I've watched a lot of it because so many people will come on here complaining that it was peak, it was my childhood, and it was everything. When I was a very stupid child, I still thought this show sucks, and it still sucks to this day. It always has, and it always will. There are so many different episodes that I could highlight as being completely and utterly atrocious, but of course, I'm once again going to talk about Fart Baby. Fart Baby is a episode that starts off with Sanjay and Craig seeing who could rip the stinkiest fart. God, this video is going to have me talking about so much ass ripping. It's just kind of abhorrent in a lot of ways. So he's trying to release a stinky one. He just starts horking down a bunch of wings while Craig just poops his pants.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah?
How wonderful. And eventually just nothing's coming out. It won't leave him. He is stuck with the fart baby deep inside of him as he was thrusting on the table trying to get it out. And the animators really like to highlight and really like to showcase his ass up in the air in this episode, shaking and quivering as it's trying to get it out. How wonderful, how beautiful, how exquisite even. And so, eventually they go home, and because they don't want it to leave Sanjay's body, they put a massive amount of duct tape on his, demonetized cloaca. Is that better than saying that cloaca? So his cloaca is nice and taped up, so he starts going around pressing on his belly and just trying to release that thing whenever he can and just tormenting people with it. Eventually, Sanjay and Craig, they go and have a photo shoot with Sanjay taking off his shirt and showing off his pregnant fart baby belly, and they get really into it. Eventually it's time, so they have to go to the hospital, where for a solid 3 minutes it's just Sanjay on top of a table with his ass quivering in the air as he's trying to prevent it from coming out, trying to stop it from being pushed out of him. Oh boy! And eventually he does push it out, and it's a little fart baby. And how wonderful and exquisite is that? That's exactly what I needed in my life. And I need to remind you that there are plenty of episodes of Sanjay and Craig that are just like this. The same level of quality, which is why it makes me so angry to this day. Especially when people will have the audacity, the mindset that, Sanjay and Craig, bro? That's just like regular show, dude. That was my regular show growing up. It's just like that, like a crazy concept. It's anything but regular, dude. It was pretty wild growing up. Like when Sanjay was sitting on that table with his ass quivering, I was laughing my ass off, dude. That's pretty much how they'll talk to you about their love and appreciation for Sanjay and Craig, and I just don't get it. It is one of my least favorite shows of all time. Ren and Stimpy, on its own, is a nostalgia-filled classic. Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon, however, is a abhorrent nightmare that should never have been made. Now, John Kay, the creator of this series, said that Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon is the show that he always wanted to make, a show with no limitations. And yeah, I can see why you would want to do that, pal. Hello? Can somebody please search this guy's computer? Because he has so many problems, dude. There's so many fetishes in the show, and I just don't like it at all. And not to mention that John Kay, the creator of the show, he was accused of many things that I could definitely see being true, just based off the stuff that he's made. You know, talking to teenage artists, talking to young girls coming up in the industry, just like, oh,
hey girl, would you like to work on Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon? I know you're only 16, but there's gonna be Ren, and he's gonna be assaulting and trying to sexually assault lots of women, so you would love to work on the show.
That's how I imagine John Kay sounds. I don't know though. Either way, yeah, it's just really freaky. The specific episode that I want to highlight is the episode Ren Seeks Help, because, you know, normally you'd put some slapstick comedy into a episode that is all about what is physically happening, right? You would try to make the scenes where characters are getting harmed a little bit funny. That's why Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner is actually funny, because watching Wile E. Coyote get hurt is funny because of the ways that it happens. But in Ren Seeks Help, Ren, he seeks help, to say the least. He finds a therapist and starts telling him about his life, about how he is just a psychopath and loves torturing animals. And so we get to watch him as he sticks a firecracker inside of a frog's little rectum and tries to blow him up. We get to see him do so many abhorrent things to so many different animals that it is really disturbing.
Oh! Ah! Ouch!
It's so hard to watch a character that if it was a human, there would be no difference in these scenes. There's nothing cartoonish about it. He is just genuinely attacking animals, and that is the entire joke. That's all there is. He's mercilessly killing everything small until he graduates himself up to the frog, and that's when we see him pin the frog up against a wall and start running the tire of it as the frog's guts spew out everywhere.
I'm a boy like that. How I like to spin my little tires.
What? Why is that a thing? Why is that what you're choosing? Like, I get that it's an adult party cartoon, but I can't imagine any adult aside from Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy sitting there and just being all like, look at that frog pinned against the wall. His guts are spewing everywhere as Ren has a sick demonic laugh. Ha 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 ho! That's a knee slapper coming from this. Ho ho! Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? And so, Ren just keeps detailing how he destroys and mutilates this frog, and eventually he doesn't even want to kill the frog, and the frog is just begging and pleading for death because he just wants his suffering to end, and Ren won't give that to him. So eventually, the doctor says that Ren is beyond help. Like, what are you talking about? This is extra freaky, man. And so Ren starts maliciously beating the man. beating him and just clawing his face, smacking him. He grabs a gun off the table and just starts beating him to death with the butt of the gun. And again, none of this is like slapstick humor in any conceivable way. None of it is comedy. None of it is comedic. And it is just outright disturbing in every way. And I don't think John K. was making this with the idea of, let me make a horror film. Let me make something horrifying. No. It has connotations that would insinuate that this is supposed to be hilarious. But it's just not. It is so unbelievably hard to sit through, and that is a, consistency throughout the majority of Ren and Stimpy, adult party cartoon. The first episode was all about them living in a jar and eating throw up, eating snot, slurping down spit, and it's just not good. And then the rest of the series, there's a lot of sexual assault and a lot of getting freaky, a lot of trying to push out constipation. Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon is genuinely something that I wish I had never watched in my entire life. I've watched the entire Brickleberry verse, that being Brickleberry, Paradise Petey, and Farzar, every single episode I have seen, and let me tell you, it was one of the worst experiences of my entire life. There is nothing redeeming about it. They're all the exact same consistency, they're all the same show, and they all have the exact same humor of, hey, come here, look at my cock, look at it, stare at it. And then if you laughed at that, then you probably like Brickleberry. And they also really like killing animals, and there's never a follow-up joke. It's just the equivalent of, let me grab, I'm holding a cat by the neck right now, and then I just go, I just rip its head off, and they expect you to laugh. I don't say anything witty, I don't say anything comedic. That is literally the comedy within the shows. And it fucking sucks so unbelievably much. But there is one episode that really makes me angry, and that is the episode Gay Bomb from Brickleberry. Now, Brickleberry fans, they will tell you one thing when they want you to watch their show. Okay, make sure that you turn off your brain when you're watching this show, or just get high as hell, okay? And you'll love it. Which is always the dumbest argument, because why would I want to watch a form of media where, one, I have to turn off my brain to enjoy it, and two, I have to get high as hell to enjoy it? Why wouldn't I keep my brain on and watch a way better show where I could think about it, I could think about the plot, the characters, the comedy, I could laugh my ass off while also thinking about it, or I could be high and be watching a show that is actually well written and even better and find it even more funny than something that you need to be high to enjoy. I think that's a really stupid philosophy, but you do you. Go turn off your brain, pal. Go have a little bit of fun with it. I hate the philosophy of that, and anybody who comments that, I will never understand the appeal of, hey, I'm gonna be really stupid to watch this show. Yay, yay. Where's my bear? I don't get it. I really don't. So Gay Bomb is all about the character Connie, and she is struggling with being a lesbian because nobody around her really accepts her. Within the first 2 minutes of the episode, she tries to kiss this character Ethel because Ethel is being nice to her, so she unconsensually tries to lay on a big smooch and then just gives out a big old runs away because it's not reciprocated. She is struggling immensely, so she's running through the forest. She doesn't know what to do, and she eventually stumbles upon a military operation that has a gay bomb. Upon seeing that there is a bomb that will turn everybody gay, she picks it up, slams it on the ground, and now everybody in a 30-mile radius is a homosexual. Are they gonna do anything that interesting with this idea, with this plotline? No, not really, not at all. Everybody's gay, and the main jokes that revolve around that is just, haha, look, it's a homosexual couple. Genuinely. The majority of the comedy for the episode is, look, it's two guys kissing and humping each other. You're telling me those two dudes are kissing over there? Yeah, that's literally it. So Connie, she eventually runs to find Ethel, and Ethel is now a lesbian, so she wants Connie, and Connie ends up running into her parents once again, and her parents initially disowned her for being gay. But now that they found out that she isn't gay anymore because the gay bomb also worked on her, they want her back. And so, because they want their daughter back, they decide that they're going to kill the family dog. So, the dad is sitting there holding the dog for 10 seconds, saying, shh, 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 go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Go to sleep, Connie. Go to sleep.
And for like 10 seconds, you're just watching this dog's life slowly be drained as it just slowly fades away from existence. And that is the entire joke. Genuinely. Somebody had to sit there and be all like, you know what would be really funny? You know what would be really hilarious to watch? If a dog fucking got strangled to death and we slowly watched it take its last breath. And they do that joke once in this episode, and I thought, oh my gosh, I was thinking, oh man, well, you know, if I had a nickel for every time I see that, I hope I would only have one nickel. But guess what? I have 2 goddamn nickels. Because they do it again. They do the same thing again. I don't think it's an animal. I can't really remember. I don't know. I'm not rewatching this slop. I've already seen this episode 3 times. But he does it again. He strangles another person again. And that's the entire comedy. Not to mention the side plot of the episode, which revolves around all the 3 main dudes, the like chief and the other guy, Steve, and what's his face? I don't care about him. They all turn gay. And once again, the entire comedy for their arcs is just, oh, look at these guys, they're gay now. Watch them rub their nipples and passionately make out with each other and want to be gay. And that's it. It is the most lowbrow, horribly written show that I've ever seen. And this episode is a prime example of that. Literally, when pitching this entire episode, all they had to say was, let's have this dog be strangled and let's have a bunch of gay men kissing. And then they made the episode. The guy pitching it that's probably all he said. He's like, homosexuality, animal death, and everybody just got up and started clapping for him, saying, bravo, brilliant, you're so intelligent and smart and beautiful, oh my god, wow. And I hate it. I hate everything about Brickleberry, Paradise PD, and Farzar, but somehow I think I've seen worse. Next, I'm going to be taking a look at Poop Madness. Yep, you heard that right. Poop Madness from Big Mouth. Yay, Big Mouth. Oh, everybody get excited. Everybody's hooting and hollering, dancing a little jig as I discuss Big Mouth on the channel once again. How thrilling. Poop Madness is a prime example of why I hate Big Mouth. You have such an incredible concept and idea, and yet you take that idea and you just smush it in the face with some goddamn fecal matter and a young boy being constipated in the woods. I hate it so much. The episode opens with Maurice, I think that's his name, Andrew's hormone monsters, being like, oh, Andrew, what are you doing in there? Are you struggling to get it out, to say the least? You struggling to release some thunder? How long has it been since you took a shit, Andrew?
Sucked your groundhog back into your butthole. You made it think there was 6 more weeks of sphincter.
And Andrew's just sitting there begging for forgiveness as Maurice opens up his cheeks and takes a little bit of a peek inside. Yeah, just staring at that. I'm not gonna show it. I don't even know how many clips I'll show for the Big Mouth section because it's just, I'm at a risk. But that's what he's doing. Maurice is just like, oh, Andrew, yeah, it's really stuck in there. I don't know how you're gonna get it out. Oh, God. And I hate it so much. And then they have the other plots in this episode, which are actually good. Like, there is an entire plotline about a transgender girl struggling to find a relationship that was actually really good. That part of the episode, it was meaningful, it focused on her in a meaningful way, and it was actually telling a pretty goddamn good story. But then in between all of that, I have to deal with Andrew struggling to get it out. He's struggling immensely throughout the entire thing, and the big culmination of it, the big end of the episode, is him and Nick coming together as Nick is all like, oh, come on, Andrew. Oh, I know you could do it, big boy. You could push it out. Yeah, you could do it. You could push it out. As Maurice is probably just in the background like, oh, yeah, Andrew, you could get it out. Come on, open your cheeks up. Get it out of yourself, Andrew. Come on.
One more push.
As he begins to moan and yell in the woods, and they give birth to a giant piece of poop, and they have the audacity to hold it and treat it like a little baby. Yay! I hate it so much. Like, this is the one episode of Big Mouth that I could highlight that is truly the biggest fault of the show. Does this episode show naked children? No, it doesn't, which is also a major fault of Big Mouth. But it does highlight The main issue that I have with the show is that they have such a unique concept with hormone monsters, helping children deal with puberty, depression kitties, all of these really interesting things, anxiety bugs, the guilt guy, whatever, I don't care, I don't remember. They have all these really unique concepts that could have been made into such a good show. And instead of trying, they funnel it with Andrew being constipated with fecal matter and other concepts just like that. Because honestly, this show could have been so good if there was so much more passion pumped into it. I really hate it. It's by far one of the worst shows I've ever seen. And I think it's tied for the number one here. I really do. I think it's a tie for the worst show. I think Big Mouth is up there, but then there's also Mating Season. It's just genuinely a toss-up of, do I prefer having to watch naked children, or do I prefer horny woodland animals? And both of them for me are not equally as bad. Big Mouth is definitely worse with the stuff that it will show, but Mating Season really pissed me off, and it's probably got some recency bias on why I hate it so unbelievably much. It is so hard to sit through. I think the episode that I'm going to highlight, even though all 10 episodes that I've seen are extremely bad, is going to be whichever episode has the Fawn and Penelope telling their backstories. I'm specifically choosing this episode for monetization purposes because this is probably the safest I can get. So this episode has two diverging plot lines. One of them has Penelope talking about what happened in Canada, and the other one has Fawn discussing her relationship with a wolf, known as the Piss Wolf. That is genuinely what his entire character is within the show. He pisses. Fawn eventually comes home, slips on some piss, sniffs it up, and is like, "Is this pee?" and starts wandering around the house, eventually finding her boyfriend pissing on everything, saying, "Oh yeah, just marking our territory, baby, ooh," as he grabs her, begins to kiss her, and starts pissing on her leg.
You're on my leg right now, aren't you?
Our leg.
It's so dumb. It's so stupid. And then Penelope's side of the plotline is she falls in love with this beagle for genuinely no reason. It's not explored at all. They treat it as a love at first sight thing, but it doesn't really make any sense. And so how do they explore this relationship meaningfully? Just showing us a fox and a beagle getting down and dirty with each other, with the beagle flicking that fox pussy a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire episode. I don't really need to discuss anything else about it. That just gives you a bigger picture of Mating Season as a whole. And that is just like the smidgen, just little sniff of what Mating Season is about, because there's so much worse episodes, but I really don't want to get age restricted. I really don't want to get demonetized again, so I can't even talk about them here. That's how bad Mating Season is. But yeah, I think those two are probably tied for the worst shows that I've ever seen overall. And I don't think it could get any worse than that. At least I really hope that it can't. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I've kind of been on a kick of talking about the same shows lately, and that's just because it's been getting a lot of attention, and I know it's giving a lot of people some good laughs, and that's always what I'm seeking. I'm going to be getting into some different content very soon here. I'm still going to be doing the I let you guys choose the episodes one, so you'll be able to make me suffer a lot. I'm going to be talking about Hugh Neutron very soon, talking about how he's the second coming of Christ, so that'll be wonderful. Just lots of good content on the way, no plans of slowing down. Thank you guys for all the support recently. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, don't take it the most seriously. It's just for comedy. It's just to make you laugh. That's the entire point of it all. So I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.